The one comedian that we've been sitting here doing this interview that you hold in very high regard is Dave Chapelle. Dave Chapelle walked away from $50 million. You said it was more. Tell the story.
That's right.
I'm gonna let you tell it.
No, you're
no,
the best.
I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You're proving it here today. As much as I'm proving.
I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster.
Dave Chapelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood and everybody passed on him. Then when he made $500 million, even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract.
For years, the world was told that Dave Chapelle lost his mind and walked away from $50 million. But what if that number was a lie? What if the real figure was $500 million? And what if the breakdown wasn't a mental health crisis, but a calculated escape from an industry that threatened to drug him, silence him, and destroy his name? Welcome back to The Fame Game. We are diving deep into the untold stories of Hollywood today. If you want to support real investigative storytelling, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. To understand why Dave Chapelle disappeared to Africa in 2005, you first have to understand who he was before the fame.
I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances.
Not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million?
They're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medications through.
In the industry, they used to call him Pilot Boy. Why? Because according to Dave, he had filmed 19 different television pilots in Hollywood, and every single one of them was rejected. The industry didn't see his value. They passed on him over and over again. But then the atmosphere shifted. Reality TV was exploding, sitcoms were dying, and Comedy Central was desperate. They gave Dave a shot, and he didn't just deliver a show, he delivered a cultural revolution.
Just through and he's way on the street screaming, they're trying to kill me.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career when it seems as though they're cussing here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like,
we have to remember how groundbreaking Chapelle's show actually was. He wasn't just telling jokes, he was breaking taboos. Think about the Clayton Bigsby sketch. A black white supremacist who is blind and doesn't know he's black. It was dangerous, it was controversial, and it was hilarious. Or the sketches about oil in the Middle East, or the absurd bit about drinking Cambodian breast milk from the Bronx. The show became a monster hit. The DVD sales shattered every record in history, generating, according to reports and Katt Williams, around $500 million for the network. Now here is where the betrayal begins.
Who knows? We may be witnessing the birth of a star. Please welcome David Chapelle.
Based on his contract, Dave was reportedly entitled to a massive cut of that back-end revenue, potentially half. But when the money started pouring in, the narrative changed. Instead of handing him his check for $250 million, the network allegedly told him he had made too much money for the contract to be valid. Let that sink in.
Dave Chapelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood and everybody passed on him. Then when he made $500 million, even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made.
They allegedly voided the logic of the deal because it was too successful. Instead, they slid a new contract across the table, a $50 million deal. To the public, this looked like a fortune. But to Dave, it was a slap in the face. It was a fraction of what he earned, and signing it meant signing away his freedom, his likeness, and his voice. If you think Dave was right to stand his ground, hit that like button right now. Let's see how many of you would have walked away too. Dave realized early on that the industry wasn't his friend. He told a story about being a 15-year-old kid who wrote a joke about the Goodyear blimp.
Recently have a Twitter account. I typed my name in. They were like, you cannot use celebrity names. I was like, word? I see a fake Dave Chapelle, so I stopped following the guy. And it turned out the guy was like hilarious. Hey, who is this guy?
An older, established comedian asked to borrow it for an audition. Young Dave, naive and helpful, said yes. Weeks later, he saw that comedian performing the joke on stage as his own. That was his first lesson. In this business, people will steal your genius and call it theirs. By 2005, the theft wasn't just a joke, it was his livelihood, and the pressure was turning sinister. Dave described a terrifying environment where handlers were trying to convince him he was insane. He spoke about people around him suggesting he take antipsychotic medication, not to help him, but to sedate him.
For how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say,
There was one specific moment that sounds like it's straight out of a horror movie. Dave returned to his production office after a brief absence, only to find that the door to his office had been walled over. Literally. A physical wall had been built where the entrance used to be. When he asked about it, he was told that he had requested it. That is the definition of gaslighting. And then there was the dress. This is a topic that both Dave and Katt Williams have been vocal about for years. The emasculation of black men in comedy. Dave recalled a specific argument with a writer who pitched a scene where his character would escape jail by dressing as a female prostitute. Dave said, "No, I don't feel comfortable with that." The writer pushed back and saying, "But it's hilarious, all the greats have done it." Dave's response was perfect. He said, "If all the greats have done it, then it's hacky. Let's do something else." But they wouldn't let it go. They kept pressuring him, claiming that every minute he wasted arguing was costing them money. This wasn't just about a costume, it was about control. Dave later confronted Kevin Hart about this very issue, warning him about the industry's obsession with putting black comedians in dresses. Kevin denied the pressure at the time, but years later he ended up wearing a dress in a sketch on SNL. It's a pattern that's hard to ignore. But the most bizarre story from this era involves Katt Williams and a fake Dave. After Dave walked away, a fake Dave Chapelle appeared on Twitter, back when Dave didn't even have an account. This imposter was hilarious but started posting nasty things about other comedians, specifically attacking Katt Williams. Katt, thinking it was the real Dave, started beefing with him. When Dave finally ran into Katt at a comedy club, Katt was cold, asking, "What are you trying to say, Dave?" Dave had to explain, "Katt, I don't have a Twitter page." It turns out someone was impersonating Dave to sow discord among comedians, trying to break the bond between two of the sharpest minds in the game. Ultimately, the pressure became too much. The network allegedly told Dave that if he didn't take the $50 million deal, they would ruin him. They explicitly said that by the time he got home to Ohio, his fans would believe he was a crazy crackhead. So Dave didn't go home. He went to South Africa. He didn't tell his wife, he didn't tell his agent, and he didn't tell the press. He just vanished. When he finally returned and sat down with Oprah, he dropped one of the most powerful quotes in Hollywood history. People asked why he didn't just move his show to a different network. Dave replied, "Why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another? Because the master over there might be nicer?" He realized the monster wasn't just Comedy Central, it was the entire industry. He said the industry is a monster. It's the same monster the Hash Me Too movement talks about. They hate the monster for how it sexually misconducts. I hate the monster for how it eats. Today the landscape has changed. Rumors continue to swirl about the lengths power players will go to protect their secrets. From alleged NDAs protecting Tyler Perry's private life to the hidden side of Oprah Winfrey that Chapelle has hinted at. But one thing is certain. Dave survived. He walked away from the money to save his soul. He refused to be gaslit, he refused to be medicated, and he refused to wear the dress. What do you think? Did Hollywood try to destroy Dave Chapelle, or was it all just a contract dispute gone wrong? Tell us your theory in the comments below. And before you go, please hit that like button if you respect Dave's integrity. Subscribe to the Fame Game for more stories they don't want you to know. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Did Hollywood try to destroy Dave Chappelle, or was it all just a contract dispute gone wrong? Tell us your theory in the comments below. Thanks for watching The Fame Game.